Hi everyone, welcome to the second video from this planner page from Johanna Basford's weekly planner and Worlds of Wonder. I've picked out my colours for this sort of circular area behind our owl. You can see them here if you're having a little sneaky look. We have the blue-grey, magenta, purple and light blue. Okay, so we have a few different colours. We're going to try and mix them and make a galaxy background, fingers crossed. So I'm going to start with the magenta. This is a very bright colour, so I'm hoping it'll all work it out. Let's come in a tad so you can see. There we go. So I'm just quite eager to start really. So what I tend to do with the galaxy background is start with a really dark bit and then spread out so that it's a bit lighter towards the edge so it can be blended into something like that. So we'll do that here as well, and we just do little bits of colour in different shapes and sizes over the whole of this sort of background area. I don't know what I'm going to do with these flowers. Obviously they won't be any of these colours, but we'll find out, won't we, as I go on. Now it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect at this point because we can lay it up a lot more, but it's just starting to mark out those sort of areas of colour. I'm going to make that one like long and thin, and then down here we'll have a sort of more really circular bit like that. There we go, and then same over here. I need to remember we've got this bit here, so maybe I'll do it here with this bit like that. Try to get into all the corners. A little bit here. A bit here. Now there's different tricks to doing these sorts of backgrounds. I think you need to choose well, you don't actually. I was going to say you need to choose a pencil that blends, but I can do these with polychromos, and they're not really known for their blending, but you need to be prepared to get out your blending pencil or a white pencil or whatever and have a good go with it. Okay, so I think that's probably enough. I'm just going to make that one a bit tidier, which might end up making it a bit bigger, but I don't think that matters. Now I'm going to go for my purple. Okay, and some of these will join with some of the ones I've already made, and some of them will be independent. So here I'm going to do a little bit that just sort of blends in to this colour. It's quite a bit easier to do it like that along here, like that. But here I'm just going to do a bit without. Now I might find that I want another colour once I've done this for a little bit. I don't know why that's all dotty. Can you see that? Is there something on the back? Yeah, there is. There's a dot of there are dots of gel pen behind, not on the page directly on the back, because that's the planner bit, but on here, these dots. It's another good reason for putting a piece of paper behind. Trying to eliminate that. Don't want to see that. There we go. We've got them coming through on here as well. That paper, obviously, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, that was good timing. Lucky I got to the remote control in time. It was very quick and very loud. You would have been deaf. Now I would have had to have edited it out. You can see how we can just gently blend it into the next colour. Excuse me, sniffing now. If we so want to, we're going to do it for this one, but then here we're going to have one on its own around here. We don't want them all joining on this side and not on the other side. It'll look quite strange. Oh, excuse me. I should have blown my nose while I had the camera off. Never mind. I don't know what's causing that sneeze. Nothing's going on. Right, it looks a bit blotchy, doesn't it? Splotchy, blotchy. Right, we've got our light blue. It's quite a contrasting colour. I'm going to sharpen it a bit. I have faith that it will work. There's one bit. Now you're more likely to combine it into other colours at this stage because there's less space. Even if I put a bit here, it's still going to sort of mix with that one and this one. Now I have done galaxy backgrounds before, but not with these pencils and not with these colours. So I thought it was worth showing you again what I'm doing. And I just wanted it not being a moon, but if you want it a moon, and then you can get a silver pen or pencil. There's a silver pencil in this set actually, and just colour it in. Some people, when they do moons, they put all sorts of special fancy bits in to look like the craters and all that sort of thing. I think that's completely up to you. I tend not to when I'm doing moons. I tend to leave them just quite plain, probably because it's easier, in all honesty. Okay, I think it's missing a bit here. Just trying to make it reasonably even without looking too contrived. There we go. Yeah. Now I've still got quite a few gaps. Excuse me, so I'm wondering whether to go for a slightly different colour. Maybe I will put in my blue-grey next. Because my plan was to put this in all the gaps and then just blend it together. Maybe I just will do that. But I'm not pressing too hard with this one. Just going to see how it goes, really. Now I find normally when I do this, the best way to smush it all up is to use a white pencil. But whether that's going to work in this case, I do not know. I'm going to give it a go. Now, some white pencils aren't very good, and I don't know what the Amazon Basics white is like. I haven't used it, so we'll find out in a moment. It's actually quite a pale colour. I thought it'd be darker, but we can make it work. Okay, so white pencil next. If this one doesn't work very well, I've got Prismacolor white, which will work. So here's our white. And what we do with the white, with it over the top of everything, what it tends to do is tone everything down a little bit and mix it together. It is slightly fading things a bit. Quite as I'd hoped. I had a delivery today. I just heard something at the door, and they said it was a delivery of some salt for a water softener, and we'd ordered 3 boxes and only 2 came. He said he couldn't find the other one at the depot, which made me a little bit worried that where is it? Okay, we're going to use some other colours because that didn't really work in the way that I had hoped. I'm going to use some Prussian blue. I'm going to go dark. Where these light grey areas are, I think they need to be darker. Because I think what's happened is our sort of blobs of colour stand out too much because they're so much darker than the sort of main sky colour. But if I put this over, it will they will look better. And you can have a look between the 2 sides in a bit and see whether you agree. Just getting a bit more on. Obviously I am colouring on top of white. That looks much better, I think, than that. That we have some sort of still bright and lighter areas and some darker areas. And once I've done this, I'll get out a blending pencil. I'm not sure. The Caran Dash I'm tempted to try. It doesn't work with all pencils though, so we'll see what happens with this one. The Caran Dash pencils, like it's just the blending stick. And what we're going to do is see if we can, oh that's good, sort of mix it all up, smush it together. I didn't go over that grey bit, but I don't think it matters too much. And just get a sort of smushed, mixed up look, which is what is happening. It's smoothing and smushing. You can see the difference. Now I was going to use a white pen to do stars on this sky. However, the magenta bleeds into white pen. So the tiny stars that I put on top of the magenta will go neon pink. So I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to have to do them in silver instead so that they work, rather than the magenta. Rather than doing white, which will then give us neon pink stars on top of the magenta bits, and everywhere else they'll look white. Now, before I finish, I'm going to try and recolour some of the bits. So I'm grabbing a magenta and I'm going to try and blend it better. So where it overlaps something, just kind of try and put a bit more in so that the line where the two colours meet isn't quite so defined. And hopefully you can get a bit of better mixing of colours. It's taking a bit of concentration, that's for sure. But then hopefully it'll be worth it. Go. Then we're going to do the same with our purple. It's taking a bit of effort, and there we go. Here, lots of traffic on the road. I guess it's Saturday. It'll be busy-ish. I sort of, you know, the weekend you expect it to be a bit quieter, but I suppose people go out shopping like we do, but not just groceries. People go out and buy clothes and bits and bobs, don't they, on a Saturday, or visit people. I suppose that could be part of it as well. Now we've got the sort of light blue. Yeah, I haven't, I was going to actually invite a friend over for coffee. and I haven't done that yet. I need to organise that. We were going to have a walk. She said she'd hurt her foot. I think she'd been on holiday somewhere, overdone it or something. I'm not really, she didn't quite tell me all the details. Now we've got the Prussian blue. I'm not going to worry about the grey. And so I thought it might be wiser to have a coffee. We usually do a canal walk. If she might find it a bit sore. So I shall have to organise that. Be nice. And yeah, I was thinking of asking my parents over, but they're on holiday for most of next week, so that won't happen then. We'll see. There's a bit here which is really pale. Okay, so we've got quite a mixed colour. We've got some brightness popping out, we've got some darker colours. I'm just going to brush it off. Now this always, to me, I always panic at this stage and think it's not looking right, and then when I add the white it works, but as I say, I don't think I can add white this time. I think I'm going to have to do silver. I'm just looking for a silver pen. Ah, there it is. Looking in the wrong place. It's the, I thought I had a different one, but this is the Sakura metallic silver. Yeah, as I say, I thought I had a different one. And what it's, you want to do lots and lots of dots. Because we're talking galaxy, some big, some small, some in little groups, some split apart, you know, some like this. Do a big one with lines either side like that, and little groups of dots, great big, just one on its own, like that. Just vary up a little bit. Just trying to look at what I've done and making them similar-ish. Hopefully that shows up well enough. It shows up a bit. If you've only got a small space, just do a few small dots. As you get more space, you can do bigger ones. You can do little ones like that. Great big one there with a, you can do a big one like that with dots all round it. I'm just copying ideas from what Johanna does when she does them, because I do not really have an imagination for this sort of thing. We need another big one here, another one there. I'm going back and forth a little bit. There we go. So there is that bit. The bottom looks, you can't see them, but if I tip it up you can see them. There's a bit of a gap in here. There we go. So there they are, shiny stars on the galaxy background. Now I don't want to smudge that, so I think I'm going to have to move down to the house rather than doing the flowers. So here is our house. Now I might not get it all done today, we'll see how we get on. Now let's have a little look at the design of the house. So we've got 3 or 4 different sections to decide whether we're going to make it. I think we've got bricks which could be done differently and wood, but we've got this sort of rendered bit which could all be the same, and we've got obviously windows that could all be similar. I think the windows, I'm going to start with the windows in the chrome yellow. I want a nice warm yellowy colour because it's night time, to show the light coming through, welcoming light in the windows. So we'll start there. It just gives me a starting platform, really. I just realised that I had stopped the camera because I sneezed, so I don't actually know how long I was doing the other bit for. I think I might just do a little bit of this and then finish it off in another video. Oh, how did I miss that one? I have my hand on it. There, it does look welcoming, doesn't it? And I'm going to do the rendery bit, and I thought about doing it in a cream colour. Now, we have a colour called Sand, which is quite a creamy looking colour, so that's what I'm going to use. It's very pale. It's going to be really hard for me to see if I've actually covered it all with it because of it being so pale. But I think it looked quite smart with a render being this pale. House renders are normally quite pale, though we have one near us that's blue. Actually looks really quite smart and blue. But I'm sort of thinking maybe more traditional. I sort of want to keep the windowsills the same colour. And then we've got this big section here to fill out. We've got this sort of Tudor style wood bits at the top, which we shall do later or on the next video. Now, of course, some Tudor style houses would have a thatched roof if they're in the UK. We don't have many thatched roof houses anymore. I suspect the ones that are left are probably listed, meaning they can't change. It's very difficult to insure a thatched roofed house because of the risk of fire. I do wonder how warm they are and whether the damp gets in and things like that. I don't think I've ever been in a thatched cottage. I've seen one in the village where my gran used to live on the edge of a village. She was sort of, it was all part of a big town really, you know, it's sort of grown and joined onto the town, but there was a thatched cottage there, which was rather nice. Right, that needs some work. I'm going to leave it though for today. I think I'm going to make that do. I'm pretty sure that I've done my full whack of minutes compared to what I did for the first video, so I quite like to finish it in a third one really, and there isn't masses to do on the house really. It's not going to take long, so we have time to concentrate on all the pretty flowers. But thank you for watching. Let's just come out actually so you can see. There you go. Thank you for watching. Hope that you have a super day and happy colouring.